Hey there, Clash Royale fans. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Yes, balancing incoming. Another round of balancing changes coming to Clash Royale, and I'm going to go out on a limb this time and say this one's going to be focused around the Goblin Barrel. I think that is by far the most significant change in this update, and this is it right here. From 4 to 3 Elixir for the Goblin Barrel. Now that alone would make it so OP. So they did change a couple of other factors, and deploy time increased, bumped up to 1.2 seconds, and another minor that could be major fact, they removed the damage impact. So the barrel itself apparently is now made out of paper, I guess. I don't know, or I don't know how it could not damage the tower if it lands on it, but apparently it doesn't. So the goblins take longer and they don't do any damage when they land, so it's going to be up to you guys to react quickly and get them out of the way before they go to work. The next change may seem like a troll or just a joke. They've added one skeleton to the skeleton army. It's now 21 instead of 20. It's that missing guy from the 4 that were with the 1 elixir skeletons. He's been added to the skeleton army, but it is a 5% change. Who knows? It could actually make a difference. But here is a big change. The amount of damage that the giant skeleton puts out increased by 20%. Not the bomb he drops, just the damage that he does directly. Next up, the Dark Prince having his damage increased by 8%. I do feel like we haven't seen that much of the Dark Prince. That should help bring up his usage statistics a bit. I'm not a big fan, but maybe I will be after this balance change. And the Bomber gets an additional 9% increase in damage. That should help him out. He is super powerful at lower levels, but another card that you just don't see being used that often up at higher levels. And speaking of cards we don't see that much of at high levels, but that are already powerful at low levels, the Wizard, and he has had his attack speed increased. So now the time between attacks has been decreased from 1.7 to 1.6 seconds. So the camp that already feels the Wizard is too powerful, they might not be so happy about that change. Next up, another big one, and that is the Inferno Tower has seen its hit points increased by 6%. Okay, so maybe big one by the size of the tower, not so much the increase of 6%. I mean, I don't know, sometimes these numbers, they seem so small, but obviously they are very well calculated. These guys over at the Clash Royale team are doing the math. They have the figures behind the reasoning for these what seem like small changes. So an additional 6% hit points, and it could make a difference when you're dropping that Inferno Tower. Now, the Elixir Collector, one of my favorite cards, one of my favorite structures to use, is now going to be affected by spells and the slowing effect of the Ice Wizard. And when it comes to the spells, we're talking about Poison, Freeze, Zap, and here's one for you, Rage. Yes, you can now enrage your Elixir Collectors. I'm ready for it, you guys. I want to see the Elixir Rage deck combination. You guys let me know if you make Elixir Rage work, and I will try to include it in a future episode. Alright, another change that could be significant. One of my favorite cards down at lower levels is the Tombstone. I really feel like it's not used enough, so maybe this increase of hit points of 9% will be enough to get more players to start dropping the Tombstone, especially now that the single Elixir skeletons have seen that nerf. The Tombstone, all that much more value, and it can create so many more skeletons. And of course, think about the fact that it breaks into 4 skeletons when it is destroyed, so much more value than just those single Elixir skeleton if you can get the Elixir saved up to deploy it. Alright, another one that people are going to be either loving or hating, the Bomb Tower gets more hit points. This is yet another card that we see so much of at lower levels and not that much at higher levels. So 6 additional percentage points for hit points. Will that make a big difference? I don't know. We will have to see. Again, these changes obviously well calculated, but I want to hear what you guys think. Is this going to make a significant change in the deck that you bring to battle? And what level you guys are at? Let me know. I am always looking for new and exciting decks to include in future episodes. As always, thank you guys so much for sticking around. I appreciate all of you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And of course, I hope to see you back here again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Galadon, thank goodness they found the dude.
They found who?
The dude, Galadon the dude.
But
don't you know anything?